Here's your weekly SunStar Baguio Newsbits. A look at this week's headlines.
Cordillera towns waive SAP. Additional PCR machines now in use. Kisad masses cited for violations. La Trinidad barangays ban pork. Student welfare in Baguio studied. Search for best COVID garden on. LTO sees virtual transaction. And voters registration starts July.
And for the details. The Inayan culture is alive in the Cordillera region. A total of 21 towns returned the first tranche of Social Amelioration Program, a cash emergency subsidy program of the government. This report from Loren Alimondo.
In a press briefing on May 28, Department of Social Welfare and Development Cordillera Regional Director Leo Quintilla disclosed 9 towns in Abra, 2 in Ifugao, 4 in Mountain Province, 3 each in Kalinga and Benguet waived their SAP. These are the towns of Most of these towns belong to the 4th and 5th class municipalities. DSWD-CAR added a total of 19.5 million worth of recorded wave SAP funds as of Thursday. The regional director said last week a team from the DSWD Central Office visited the Cordillera to check the reason for the returns and attributed the Inayan culture of the region. Previously, Sadanga Mayor Gabino Gangangan announced the town will waive the relief as the town sustain themselves as much as they can. In the whole region, the bulk of its population comprise indigenous peoples, collectively known as the Igorots, who continue to uphold various customs and traditions. Lord Alimondo, SunStar Baguio.
5 reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction or RT-PCR test machines are now being used at the Baguio General Hospital and Medical Center. This report from Jonathan Llanes.
Dr. Leomar Fangudilo, BGHMC Public Health Unit Head, explained, with the test machines, BGHMC's COVID-19 testing capacity remains at 300 to 500 tests a day, having no backlogs. BGHMC is a sub-national hospital for coronavirus testing for Regions 1, 2, and the Cordillera. Fangudilo added, BGHMC has 5 PCR machines with 2 machines initially used for running, while 2 other machines are used as substitute for testing operations, with 1 machine placed on standby. The PCR machine has a 98% accuracy in identifying coronavirus cases, which health authorities consider as the gold standard of COVID-19 testing. These kits include reagents and other chemicals used to check whether a patient's sample has the SARS-CoV-2 or the pathogen which causes COVID-19 that can only be used in laboratories with PCR machines. Jonathan Llanes, SunStar Baguio.
Religious gatherings are still banned in Baguio City. This report from Maria Elena Catahan.
A letter to Reverend Father Rosito Pedro Jr. was sent by the Office of the City Mayor on May 27, citing lapses in compliance of the Church and its conduct of Mass. The letter signed by Philip Puzon, Secretary to the Mayor, explained, with the general community quarantine, protocols set by the Interagency Task Force on Emerging Infectious Disease are still in place, with mass gatherings to include religious gatherings still prohibited. Puzon appealed for the assistance of the sector in ensuring that the protocols is observed throughout the remaining duration of the GCQ in the city. The Diocese of Baguio released guidelines in May 15, directing churches to open only for personal visits and prayer, but not for the celebration of Holy Mass. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines agreed a set of guidelines when parishes will be allowed to hold religious activities with people in attendance. Maria Elena Catahan, SunStar Baguio.
The local government unit of La Trinidad Benguet prohibited the sale, transfer, and entry of pork from 5 identified African swine fever-affected barangays to counter the spread of the disease. Loren Alimondo returns.
Mayor Romeo Salda signed Executive Order No. 31/2020 prohibiting the transfer, sale, and bringing out of live pork from identified ASF-affected barangays in the town. SALDA issued the order after receiving reports of possible resurgence of ASF cases in the town, while the Office of the Municipal Agriculturist conducted an examination and verification in the reported areas. Barangays with confirmed cases of ASF are Bahong, Lubas, Pico, Pugis, and Muangal. The Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office Executive Committee, together with concerned citizens, convened last week and decided measures to counter the spread of ASF. This include mandatory municipal-wide registration of hog growers, prohibit transfer, sale, and bringing out of pork from the said barangays, and for testing be conducted to adjoining barangays. Once contamination is verified, a depopulation will ensue. Last March, ASF cases were recorded in 3 municipalities of Benguet, namely in Tuba, La Trinidad, and Itogon. ASF is a severe viral disease affecting domestic and wild pigs. Lord Alimondo, SunStar, Baguio.
Baguio City Councilor Vladimir Cayabas reminds health concerns must prevail when classes start.
The lawmaker stated meetings with school authorities reveal the existence of schools which can cope with face-to-face classes, provided their personal protective equipments are available for each student and teacher. Cayabas, who chairs the Committee on Education, Culture, Creativity, and Historical Research, said a blended learning can also be implemented by institutions which can provide learners with modules for those without digital connections and online classes. He added, the proposals are being studied to give the best options for learners so as not to compromise learning during the health crisis. The anticipated opening of classes on August 24 will be subject to health situations in each area.
President Rodrigo Duterte earlier announced in his nationwide address Monday classes will remain suspended in the country until a vaccine against COVID-19 is made available. Recognition for the best gardens during the COVID-19 pandemic is being pushed by the Baguio City Council as a means to inspire residents. This report from Maria Elena Catahan.
Councilor and Association of Barangay Councils President Michael Lawana in a resolution is requesting the Office of the City Mayor to recognize barangays that displayed ingenuity, innovation, and self-reliance in establishing community gardens during the COVID-19 pandemic. The city government and the Department of Agriculture previously distributed 20,000 vegetable seedlings to barangays in the city in the hope to establish survival community gardens or household container gardens. In an approved measure, the City Agricultural Office and the City Veterinary Office, with the assistance from the Liga ng mga Barangay, was asked to formulate guidelines and criteria for the components of the search. During the duration of the ECQ and the general community quarantine, the market supply chains have restricted access to sufficient and nutritious sources of food. The survival gardens are aimed to save families in case of a food supply shortage and sustain the supply of vegetables in the coming months in barangays and households. Maria Elena Catahan, SunStar, Baguio.
The Land Transportation Office in the Cordillera region is strengthening its online transaction operations as an offshoot to the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. This report from Joven Peralta.
LTO Cordillera Regional Director Francis Ray Almora explained, at present, LTO Cordillera is currently doing online procedures for office-related transactions. Almora explained this week at their Baguio Drivers Licensing Center, LTO transitioned from the old service provider to the new Land Transportation Management System or LTMS, which is currently undergoing debugging procedures. The director stated the LTMS is an online process of transaction. Once rolled out to all the sites of LTO, there would be no need for a face-to-face transaction. The payment will be done online, and anyone wanting to conduct a transaction with LTO will have to go to the public portal and have their biometrics taken. Payment under this procedure will be done online, which is accompanied with a permanent transaction ID to be used for any transaction with LTO. Joven Peralta, SunStar, Baguio.
Voters registration will resume July 1, according to the Commission on Elections in the Cordillera. This report from Jeannie Cole Cortez.
Benguet Election Supervisor Julia Elenita Capuyan said the tribunal is preparing for the scheduled registration following protocols under COMELEC resolution and memorandum pertaining to the coronavirus disease pandemic. At present, COMELEC operates with skeletal workforce in conjunction with the coronavirus health protocol in limiting the government workforce. This aside from those instructed to do work from home. Based on COMELEC resolution for voters registration, the deadline for registration is set on September 30, 2021. Capuyan added, those interested to register are advised to download the voters registration form from the official COMELEC website. Nicole Cortez, SunStar Baguio.
And that's your weekly SunStar Baguio Newsbits. For more updates, visit us at our website and our social media accounts. Till next weekend, this is Conway Capas, reminding you to grab an e-copy of SunStar Baguio, the only daily newspaper in Northern Luzon.